Hello everyone, it's Lindsay and welcome back to my channel. Now I know what you're thinking, like, Lindsay, honey, why are you posting this video? There's still all of December left. It's not the end of the year. I know, I hear you, I understand you, but my thinking behind this was I was gonna like gamify this, right? I'm gonna make like 10 prompts and I'm gonna answer them. And if you wanna do it, you can do it too. Back in the day, they used to call it a tag. Remember Authortube tags? Feel free to use this template if you want to organize your end of year wrap up writing channel content, or don't. My idea behind making these prompts was that I wanted something that was equally reflective on our current year and looking forward to the future year, but also had some like fun, goofy questions sprinkled in. So prompt number one is, how would your main character sum up your writing year? I think Addie from The Glass Witch would be like, it was fine, but you didn't write enough baking scenes or descriptions of sweet treats. So 2 out of 5 stars. And then as for both of my main characters in The Odds and Project Pyro, both of them are mean girls and they would have nothing to do with me. So they wouldn't even answer this question. They would just like look at me from across the room with disdain, like a full Regina George look, just like. Now Casey, my main character from Bitter Bones, he would be a little bit nicer. He's also a writer. He would be quite happy that I spent so much time this year working on horror books. So I think he would sum it up as a success, but you could have added in more blood and guts. Prompt 2, your biggest writing accomplishments. Publishing related, I'm super happy that I got to publish The Odds. I think that she's a great book, my best yet, and I'm very proud of her. She's very fun, and I'm glad that there are readers in the world that are finding her and enjoying her. So that is one of my biggest accomplishments of the year. I also have another little fun publishing tidbit, but that will have to wait for another day. Writing wise, my biggest accomplishment was probably finishing my 5th book, Bitter Bones. The first draft of it is done. It's bad, but it's done. It's still an accomplishment. And then by the time the year ends, I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna have the 2nd draft of Project Pyro finished as well. So lots of wins this year, lots of wins. Your biggest writing failure. I'm kind of bummed that I wasn't able to get Project Pyro submission ready this year. What had happened was I was doing really good in the beginning of the year, and then my agent started talking to me about needing to work on my option book for Scholastic. And after chatting with her, it just made more sense to pivot to working on Bitter Bones because I had a better and quicker chance of selling that book, seeing as I only had to submit like a 50-page preview of it to Scholastic for them to decide if they want to buy it or not, versus writing, polishing, getting feedback, revisions on a whole new story that I would then have to go out and go on basically debut submission to a bunch of publishers on. It just kind of made more sense career-wise to do Bitter Bones. But it did make me really sad that I didn't get to work so much on Project Pyro, and I'm really making up for it now and I'm loving every minute of it. It's going so well. So even though I think it was the best choice career-wise, it still was a failure and I'm still kind of bummed about it. Prompt number 4, a meme that encapsulates your writing year. Or if you're like one of the cool kids, I guess you could also use like a TikTok soundbite or something, but I don't understand that. That's for you young whippersnappers. I'm gonna say this one. I feel like this has become the meme of my life because, first of all, what the heck is happening here? I love it. Unexplainable funniness, my kind of humor. And yet truth, because horrors do persist. And at the same time, it's deeply motivational because so do I. It sums up my life so well this year. It's like there's always gonna be unforeseen things that pop up, but like, I'm gonna punch through them, you know what I mean? Number 5, your favorite video you published this year. Honestly, I feel like my favorite was my writing place roast. I feel like that video kind of bombed. Like no one really watched it. Like I get it. It's kind of like outside the realm of normality here, but it was just so fun. I had you guys on Instagram send me a bunch of pictures of the places you write and I just like made fun of you guys for like 15 minutes. I think I love it so much because I kind of get to interact with you guys more, which makes me happy. And also like I get to see where you live and write and work and breathe and sleep, which just feeds my nosy Nancy soul. Number 6, a line you wrote this year that you are most proud of. I know I talked in my ranking my first and last lines of all my books about how I just kind of felt like this was okay, but the more I sit with it, the more I really love it. It's the opening to Bitter Bones. I think it just perfectly sets the tone of the novel. It's a little ominous. It definitely brings up the fact that bones are going to be a huge part of this story. It's a little comical and it's quite a bit dark. I think it also hits to the theme of the novel. So it's like a multi-purpose little cold open, I guess. This was a really hard prompt for me to find one for, by the way, because everything that I've written this year has been first or second draft form, so like I'm not writing that much good stuff, but I did have to polish up the first 50 pages of Bitter Bones, so I at least had this. Number 7, share a writing, publishing, or video making skill you learned or improved upon this year. One of the things I'm really proud of myself about is that I've really stepped up my thumbnail game, or at least I think I have. Like what I'm producing now, I feel like is much better than what I was a year ago. I feel the same way about my editing too. I'm doing a little bit more. I'm hopefully making it a little bit more engaging. I'm really taking time to pay attention to the pacing of my videos. I've kind of started treating vlogs as a novel, like how you would structure a novel. You want to start with something to pull people in, but then you want to like keep the pacing good, so you don't want too long of a shot in one place. You want a bunch of different shots at different angles to keep people intrigued. If you have something kind of boring or a clip that's kind of long, hide it in the middle. Writing wise, I definitely think consistency is a big thing I improved upon this year. I'm getting up every day and I'm usually at work by 8 a.m. and I will write or do YouTube stuff or answer emails, whatever I need to do. I will do that consistently until about 3:30, 4 o'clock, and then I'm off for the day. And I think that that has been really good for me, not only with productivity, like making sure I have a set amount of hours that I can actually work through the day, but also making sure I get some rest time as well, because that was another thing that I was bad at. I was either working like 14 hours a day, way too much, or I was working for like an hour a day, maybe. So this year I really improved upon consistency, setting timers, setting goals, making myself stick to them, and just getting it done. Number 8, share a writing, publishing, or video making skill you want to learn or improve upon in 2024. Honestly, it's kind of the same answer, except I just want to go to the next level with them. Like I would really like to be that person who can do like animated edits in their videos. I think those are so cool. I think I would have to invest some money into some kind of software or something to be able to do that. And consistency, I want to be even more consistent. I think I just want to stop diddly daddling around so much in the mornings sometimes. Prompt number 9, share some writing or channel related goals for next year. Like I kind of already mentioned, I would like to start investing a little bit of money into programs, software, things like that. I don't even have the Canva, like the professional Canva account. I just use the free cheap one. So I would like to do that. That would be good, I think. Writing wise, Project Pyro, sub ready. We're gonna make it happen. I'm honestly really scared to go on sub because all my friends that are on there, it takes forever. It's like crickets constantly. And so I'm like, okay, let's hurry up and get there so we can get like the 14-month plus wait over before I even just get one rejection, right? For Bitter Bones, I want to get it to the place where I can receive feedback on it. I want to make sure that I can get my agent's approval, some beta readers and critique partners looking it over, seeing how they feel about it, because no one really knows much about this book yet. So right now, it's my little baby. No one else's opinion matters yet, but for it to be consumed by the masses, I do need other opinions. I would like to get it somewhere in the spring up to a point where others can read it. Now these next 2 writing goals are goals, like let's not take it too serious. It's just for funsies. We'll see if it happens. If it does, great, but it's not the end of the world if it doesn't. My first one is I would love to do an actual traditional NaNoWriMo in November next year. As of right now, the project that I would choose for that would be Crimson Girls, which is this like sapphic gothic horror novel. I think it's YA, but it might be adult once I get done with it. I don't know. Given my timeline and my schedule, I might be able to actually do a real nano for the first time ever. So excited. Every year I wanted to do it, and it just never aligned with where I'm at. I'm always in a place where I already have a first draft and I need to revise it. But next year, maybe. Maybe. I'm so excited. I'm so ready to fail. The next one I keep talking about with you guys and like hinting at and joking around about, but the more I joke around about it, the more that I'm like, should I actually do this? And it's to take this bad boy, When the Sea Came for Us, my first novel that I tried to query, and turn her into a TikTok romantasy. Do I know what I'm doing? No, not at all. But does it matter? No, because this is just like for funsies. Right now, as it stands, this is the 7th draft of a dark YA fantasy that I wrote in like 2017, and it's about a disabled girl who is inscripted to become a mercenary in these land-dwelling marrows, or like land-dwelling mermaids. It's like a Celtic thing. Anyway, and they're like brutal civil war that's happening. Yeah, she's forced to like fight, but she's like the smart, bookish girl, and she's disabled. It's Fourth Wing, but with mermaids. Honestly, I just want to reread this. Like, it has been years since I looked over this book. But wouldn't that be fun? As just like a sideline funsy project. Like, nothing I have to take too serious. Nothing I have to actually make deadlines for. Just, I don't know, fart around. Fart around and find out. And the last question I threw in just for funsies. What is your main character doing at midnight on New Year's Eve? For the Glass Witch, Addie, she's Cancer Moon. She is definitely hanging out with her family, watching the ball drop, eating some good food. Also, she's 12, so it's not like it's gonna be a rager. As for Begonia, I think she's gonna be doing something quite similar. She lives in a nursing home for her magical grandparents, so there's probably a lot of snoring going on because I doubt all of her grandparents made it up till midnight, but the ones who did, their knitting needles will be clacking. There'll be like a roaring fireplace, and they'll probably have the radio on with a countdown. And then my main character in Project Pyro would also be having a rather boring night in. She would probably be babysitting her niece because her sister's dead, her mom's a druggie, her dad's in jail, her grandma's a sole breadwinner and probably having to work, and her brother would probably be out partying. So and then for Casey and Bitter Bones, I think he would be like away from his family. I think he would be in his room, like trying to ignore the fact that they're like out there celebrating, reading his little horror novels or like writing a spooky story because, you know, like he's a 13-year-old boy and he's like too cool for that kind of stuff, you know? I hope you guys like the questions and you want to do this yourself. Again, no pressure. I'm not tagging anyone specifically, but like if you want to do it, let me know and I'll watch your video. But this is just kind of like a nice little precursor to some of the content that you'll be seeing at the end of the year, end of December, early January, from me talking about goals, what I'm looking forward to in the next year, and all that fun jazz. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to. I'd love to have you. Also, The Glass Witch and the Odds are available for order wherever books are sold. I appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful end of your year, a nice, cozy, relaxing December, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye.